Welcome to episode 21 of the Out on Loan podcast. As always, I'm your host, Jeffrey Canova, and alongside me today for this episode, we got the big three back, as always, Kieran Keneally and Isaac Housen. And for today's theme or today's episode, UCL night, we know it's done. Group stages are over. We got the knockout stage coming up soon, I believe in the next 2 weeks, but we just went through a crazy, and I emphasize it again, crazy. Maybe give me another word here, boys, because I'm blanking for another synonym to use for crazy, but just a chaotic, mind-boggling last group stage match.
Bewildering.
There we go, bewildering. I mean, I don't know what Madrid fans are going to say for their crazy, quote-unquote, night, but we just got done with a full batch of matches that we're determining what spots we're going to go into the 1 through 8. Obviously, 1 through 8 gets through the play, goes automatically qualifies for the round 16, and then obviously 9 through 24 they have to go through a knockout stage a two-legged knockout stage where 9 through 24 have to battle it out and see who can get to the last 8 of the round of 16. But Isaac, I guess this will be our section where we pop in and thank you for doing us the favor and getting us all the matches that happened so far today. So I think we'll just start out from the top. I think the biggest matchup. Well, for me, obviously, was the Madrid game where we lost. I mean, and you see me calm, but just wait till I ramble about this team in a few minutes. But before we go on to analyzing these games, we'll really just analyze, looking over the scoreboards, really, because who's going to watch how many games was this? So if there was 30 teams, how many teams are there? 30. How many teams?
Math is correct.
How many games in total? How many games was there today? And played all at once from 12 p.m.
18 games today, so 36 teams. Yeah.
Yeah, I was not going to watch all 18 games. I don't have enough devices to do that, nor the passion, but we can do it through our phones, obviously, thanks to technology. But we'll start off with, I don't know, where should we start off? I think for me, the one that obviously affected all of us Madrid fans was the Athletic Club and the Sporting game, 3-2 win for Sporting, and congrats to those fans. I mean, they've been having a rough year in terms of in the Champions League, but they're in there. Obviously, I think they went to Bilbao, if I'm not mistaken, or was that a home game? If you can double check that for me, Isaac.
For this Bilbao game, San Mamés Stadium. Do you know off the top of your head?
San Mamés. So that's a big tough ground to go to. So congrats to Sporting on that. To go to Bilbao, it's a tough ground. I know Madrid won 3-0 there. I know Barca won there as well. But and this Bilbao side hasn't been that great. But again, they're in La Liga, so it's you're not surprised that you're kind of it's still a tough ground to go to if you're not one of these big major teams. No offense to Sporting, but it's just when you're going to that team, it's a must-win game for Athletic Club as well. So just a massive win for Sporting. And I think thanks to that result, that actually got them into the. I think through that result, if I'm not mistaken, if we can look at the table real quick, I think Sporting
they're 7th in the table.
They're 7th.
They got automatic qualification.
Qualification. So congrats to Sporting on that, and you knocked this out pretty much. You knocked us out of the automatic qualification of the round of 16, but deserve, because we don't deserve shit. Any of these La Liga teams don't deserve shit, besides maybe Barca, in terms of where they were coming into this last game. So congrats to them. Ajax, Olympiacos, not really go much into that, but congrats to Olympiacos.
I think an interesting game or team I'd like to mention is that Atletico Bodo Glimt game. I'm probably butchering the pronunciation. I apologize. I'm taking this from Neil Gardner on Twitter. But they had just 2 matches, had just 2 points and a goal differential of -4 after the first 5 Champions League matches. Their final 3 fixtures was Dortmund away, City at home, and Atletico away. They drew at with Dortmund and then beat City and Atletico to sneak into the top 24. So I mean, that's an incredible run. I think if you would have told those 3 teams you have to play Man City, Dortmund, and Atletico while in those circumstances, we would have never thought they'd be getting out, let alone maybe even scratching into continuing on and getting into the top 24. So tremendous results from them these final 3 matches to get points in every game and then see themselves through into the next round, or at least continuing.
Yeah, where are they at in the table? Because like you said, to go through
they're 23rd, I believe. They just
23rd. Congratulations to that team, man. You go, like you said, I think people need to understand this. This is going at I'm trying to put this in NFL American terms for any of our people who are NFL fans, soccer fans. Basketball fans and baseball fans. This is going up against the Yankees in one game, then the Red Sox, and that's a poor analogy, but we'll go football, right? It's you're going to the Texans as an away ground, and then you go on and beat a decent Bills team the second round. And then they have to go into the final game against a very stingy team that, let's say like this, not the Seahawks, but let's say like the Broncos, for example, like back in the day. Like you have to go through that team, and then boom, you automatically go through the playoffs. Like, that is an incredible achievement. Not even to mention these are three teams with high quality players. These are elite players. These are like the world's best of the best. And no offense to this small team in Bodo Glimt, but like that shouldn't be possible. But congrats to
And
them.
I think
and
it's
so
the interesting thing of this new format. I think we allow more teams like this to sneak in, and you allow these storylines, because now it's a matter of, when you're calling in for that top 24, you can have runs like this where you sneak in. Yeah, maybe you're the only 24th out of 24th, but it doesn't matter. You're still in. You're still moving on to the next round, and it gives teams something more to scrap for, rather than maybe they are stuck in a group of death where you have like a Bayern and Chelsea, and then sometimes even a Sporting or some other good, maybe a Galatasaray, and then wow, you're sitting in fourth the whole time, and you might even lose every match. Versus now, where you can kind of take every game on a game by game basis, try to get points, and then you team like that, you have some good runs against three good teams, and you're sitting in 23rd, and you're moving on.
Do you think they could pull Leicester? Remember when Leicester in the Champions League and they got to like the quarterfinals? I mean,
we've had a good year for it. I mean,
you never know.
Indiana in the college football playoffs, where we got some underdogs that have made some good runs this year. So.
Yeah, no, I think and what's even more impressive about this last result and win was not only is it a must win, especially when you consider like all the other teams that are just battling out. And I completely agree with you, Isaac, as well. It's just I like this format too, because now it's like every game really matters. Like now you have to go through playoffs, you can get to round of 8. It's goal differential. It's I don't mind it, and I think that's what the Super League was trying to do. But
it was a sports.
It makes it puts up an interesting like last round. And what's even more impressive that I wanted to go circle back to, you went to the Metropolitano and you got a result. That team beat Atletico Madrid. You know who didn't beat Atletico Madrid when they had to? Yeah, my team, with Mbappe and Vinny and Jude and Camavinga and Tchouameni and Danny Carvajal and Dean Huijsen. Who do they got? No offense to them, but like to our standards, congrats to them, man. All right, I saw Spurs there. Go back to Spurs. Congrats to Spurs as well. I couldn't believe this, man. Look, shout out to my good friend Kobe. I was gonna say Kobe Bryant. Jesus, Kobe Gaines, a fellow member of the Outland Podcast. We should be having him on soon. Hopefully, once he gets things scheduled. He's out on loan right now in Oklahoma. Shout out to Mr. Gaines out there. But congrats to the Spurs, man. I mean, to get into fourth place, in this table where you have a PSG, where you have a Madrid, you have an Atletico Madrid, even an Arsenal. All these other top European teams. No offense to Spurs, but I mean, when you compare it to the levels that they're at in the Premier League, to all the other teams, that's just an incredible feature, an incredible feat. Like you have to hold your hands up and be like, dude, Frank, you got it right. Like, dude, you got through, man. You got through.
I think it's crazy that they finished 17th last year. They won the Europa League, and now they're above Madrid and Barcelona in the Champions League.
Don't even get me started. I think that's the first thing I told him after he texted me about what happened in the Madrid game. He was like, dude, no way, like, we actually finished above you. I'm like, yes, Wade. Like, yeah, like, you guys did. And I even told him, it's like, I was kind of happy that we didn't play each other, because I think in some type of game like this, I think, and based on our record with the recent English teams that we've played in these Champions League games, bro, we probably lose the Spurs. I'm not even joking. Like, so you saw how Benfica opened this up today, and then you look at the way Spurs play in the Champions League. Oh, yikes! But congrats to them, fully deserved. Do you know who scored in those two games? In those two matches?
Solanke and Colomboani, it looks like.
Their two strikers finally scored.
They're two. Oh yeah, Solanke and Colomboani. Shout out to them, man. I mean, they've been great signings, and getting the job done.
I think we all know the game wants to talk about.
Oh, we also got Barcelona and Copenhagen.
Mm-hmm. Copenhagen was actually, I mean, they were up in the halftime. I saw that one when I checked.
Yeah, I was actually excited about that. I actually thought when I think it was like at halftime, right? They were up halftime, and then my dad was like, "Oh, dude, like Copenhagen now, like maybe there's a chance." I'm like, "Dude, second half watch. This seems to actually wake up." It's at Camp Nou too. I was like, "Yeah, there's no way they blow this." So congrats on their part to get the job done. They deserve it. I mean, they got the job done. They're through to the the round of 16, man. Congrats to them. The one game I was shocked by was the PSG Newcastle one. I really thought someone had to get a win. That's what I thought. Like they were going to go all in for the result, who would get finished on top of one another with PSG and Newcastle. But obviously, it finished 1-1, and God, I couldn't even imagine how much worse it would have been for Madrid if either one of those two would have won, because I think the other one would have been over us. I believe so, if I'm not mistaken, or we would have gotten in. But yeah, congrats to your Bayern as well, Isaac. I know they've been very dominant. Besides that one loss, I believe to besides that one loss to Arsenal. But congrats on Bayern as well for getting
Yeah, it
through.
was a
I don't
nice.
know if you want to go in a little bit more into it.
Yeah, I think it's kind of hinted at earlier with the beauty of this new system. You have a team with PSV where I think we're in that second half and we go up 1-0, or I think it's 0-0 at the time, obviously at the start of the half, and they still have something to play for. They still have a reason to play. They still, I think, needed at that time, they needed a full-on win. I think that it wasn't even enough for a draw. So they're playing and they're trying as hard as they can. They're sending balls forward. They're pressing us high up the pitch, which is really nice because it's a challenge that you want. You're playing out of these Arsenals, a lot of these Barces. You're going to get pressed, especially like very highly up. You want to test your defense and see how they can handle that. And I thought it was a nice little test. Obviously, the game finishes 2-1. It's another benefit when you can bring on. I want to go into this game because I think they should have the substitutes. It kind of for our versatility. First of all, Musiala scoring early into sort of his comeback has been nice. Yeah, it's the 62nd minute. They take off Carl, Musiala, Upamecano, and Nicholas Jackson, and then bring on like Michael Olise, Serge Gnabry, and Harry Kane, and someone else, maybe Guerrero or something like that. And it's just kind of crazy that like I love having that depth where we can basically make a full attacking change in the 60th minute, and then it gets even more deadly. You just leave Luis Diaz there, and then you kind of just let them do their thing. And Kane does his job. He got his goal after the game was tied up. So that I was very happy about. I mean, I think what I walked away most excited with this, I think Bayern has kind of locked up their keeper of the future with Erbeck. Obviously, you'll see he got the start over Neuer. I mean, they're just trying to be a little bit more versatile. And I think Neuer hasn't had the best year so far in the Bundesliga. I think Erbeck's just been a better goalie when he's played. It's just obviously you're not going to bench Neuer for most season or Erbeck, who's still very young. But I mean, in the 90 minutes played today, thank you, Bayern in Germany, Mia San Mia on Twitter again, just a really good account for and all your Bayern stats and Bayern news. 6 saves, 4 inside the box, 2 runouts, both successful, 1 big chance created, 1 key pass, 52 touches, 12 accurate long balls, and a 9.9 out of 10 on the SOFA score for the game score for today. He was just simply amazing. He kept us in it. There was an amazing save off of a corner at the end of the first half. Just sticks his hand out. Kind of a vintage Neuer performance, I really thought. He really kept us in that game. Without him, we don't win this game. We let up a lot more. So, yeah, I think to be walking away with the keeper of our future, which is sort of the one part of this roster you're really uncertain about going forward, kind of just off of age with Neuer getting up there, you never really knew what that future was going to look like. And you find guys like Nubel, who's been sent on unload for a while. There was Peretz, like the Israeli, I think he's off in Southampton right now. I never wanted our team to sign him. That is kind of a whole separate discussion. I don't need to get into that. But now you have this guy, Erbeck, I believe, who you bought from Cologne, and he's just been amazing the past 2 years, and it's so nice to just like have that position seemingly locked up for the future. But yeah, big win. We moved on, locked up second. So there's a little Bayern recap, but very, very happy for today.
No, really, I mean, with Bayern too, because like you guys have been so good all year round, and like you haven't had Musiala or Davies for most of it, and now you have those two back as well. I mean, like I think you guys probably have to be one of the favorites to win it now. Like you guys are like pretty much full strength now. So like maybe if you play Arsenal again with a full strength team, I think it looks different for Bayern.
Yeah, they always said for us because they didn't play us with their full strength team, but I think that some of the guys they were missing. I mean, while important names, I think one of them was even like Yorkies, which I don't think nowadays they're saying they're missing him too much. I think they'd probably rather have him out of the lineup than starting most games. But yeah, like how important Musiala and also how important Davies is for that side, because it also just allows us so much flexibility on that left to get forward, because you have someone like Davies who can track back so effectively that it just helps your defense out so much. Even Upamecano, who we've seen get so high, can now maybe even get a little higher, or maybe try to find more of those passes that can break out, because you have someone like Davies who can get out there. Or now you have a Diaz and a Davies combo on that left. Like, I mean, I know Arsenal, they're going to talk about Calafiori, whoever they have on that side. I'd like to see them defend a Diaz and Davies going that flank. Or if you're going to have Davies switch, you're going to have Elise come in. You have both of those that can make runs together. Ito's been like another signing basically since coming back from injury. That guy has just been simply amazing. I can't scream enough about how much I love him in our defense as well. It really seems like this is the best team through and through we've seen for a while, if not since that 2013, 2014. I'm fair to say I think this is a better roster on paper than our sextuple year with Flick. Obviously, I'm not going to say that's a better team. You got to win the sextuple, but I'm just saying on paper, this team is better. I think. I love it. I love it. I've never been happier really as a Bayern fan, at least in these past 4 or 5 years, other than the sextuple, of course. That is always nice.
Obviously, and I think when you look at the other teams that are in Europe, besides you and Arsenal, I think if we're gonna make our predictions as to what's the matchup that we're gonna be waiting for, I think that is the rematch that we all want to see. I think Arsenal versus Bayern is definitely going to be the match that everyone is going to want to see because I think those two have been, I think, the most complete out of all of Europe. I think PSG have taken a little bit of a dip in their form. I don't trust their goalkeeper since they lost to Aruma. We've seen the flaws in Man City. Defensively, they're just weak, and now they're in a poor stretch of form that we don't know whether they're going to close off well or strong with how bad their offense has been with Holland and Shirky and Foden dropping off form. I guess the third team could be a Barca because of what they did last year and the experience that they have with Flick, obviously, and that potent offense that they displayed again today with their 4-1 win against Copenhagen. But I think when you're talking about all-around talent, when you're talking about all-around team depth, consistency, experience, moments as well, and what matters more, like for Kane, this has to be it. Like this has to be the year for Kane. For Arsenal, this has to be it to get that European trophy because there's no one else in this European competition that is stronger than those two teams. And yes, I know PSG are the reigning defending champ, but these are the two top teams that we have to see finally get it done. Like I think mainly for Kane, on the side of Kane, on the side of Lisa, on the side of Musiala, for Kimmich's sake, just to end off his career on a high note. For Luis Diaz to get ready for the World Cup, and then for Arsenal, you just got to go out and win a European trophy. So I think from what we can pick up, I think those are the top two teams, and I completely agree with man. This is one of the more dangerous Bayern sides that we've seen probably since 2023-24. I mean, that was when Madrid won, and you almost beat us if it weren't for those two brilliant and just black magic-esque goals from Joselu.
Don't mention his name to me ever again, please.
I'm sorry.
Or the
me off.
VAR with that outside.
Or the VAR call, but I'm just.
No. I think Bayern were robbed in that game, but
yeah, it's okay. We're used to getting robbed by Madrid.
But speaking of, I think we'll go before we go into our main team. I think we're just gonna tweet. Oh my God, jeez, we're going to take a little break here, and we're gonna go to, as usual, promoting our fellow sponsor and editor, Robin Stone. Please go out and follow Robin Stone Pictures as always. Great guy, the Batman, as we like to call him, producing all of our shows, our episodes, our reels. So please go and hit follow for him. But as always, before we go into Madrid's sake, because I'm gonna give a freaking ramble about them. Chelsea, they got a big result. Big comeback win against Napoli. I think, if I'm not mistaken, is that at Stamford? No, that's at the. Is that in Napoli, correct? Because I didn't get to.
It was in Naples.
It was in Naples. Big win for Chelsea. Big goals from Enzo Fernandez, Joe Pedro. Shout out to those two.
That's a team that worries me as a Bayern fan. I'm going to be honest.
Really?
Chelsea? Year, yeah. I mean, I know we took care of them, I think, more comfortably on the scoreline, I think. But that was a team that gave us fits. And I think always it's just one of those, when you're playing a team so early into the season and the team kind of hasn't been fleshed out, you're still finding the team chemistry, you're still finding how you want to play even early into the year. That form that comes with naturally playing together. They're one, I think, that's just worried off of, you've had some big performances. They can go in. You just went to Naples and had that result. I have no doubt that they could go to a Bayern. We've seen it in their history. They've been able to go to Bayern and get good results. Thank you, Drogba. But yeah, like that's something they're very capable of. I think Barca was another team that you mentioned, like I'm more scared of maybe even than an Arsenal. I think not more scared of, I should say, but I'm more interested. I want more. I've already had this Arsenal game. I'll save that for the finals. I want a nice like Bayern versus Flick game versus Barca. I think that's just got a lot of cool storylines with it. But man, that Chelsea team, they're dangerous. They have that ability to win games. They even have the pedigree. There's probably still some guys left there from like the past couple of years. That's something that's still very much instilled in their team, in their club's history. I'll be interested how they look going forward with the Champions League going forward.
I mean, they can beat anybody. Like they beat Barcelona, they beat Napoli, and they have like really not like Arsenal level depth, but they have a lot of players, so they can definitely rotate more than like other teams in the competition. So,
and they're not fighting for like a league title. I mean, they could be, they want to be, but they got the benefit to where they can say, "Let's go all in a Champions League and possibly win a Champions League."
I mean, last time they selected a manager mid-season, I think they won the Champions League with Thomas Tuchel coming in. So it could happen again.
I was literally gonna say that too, and look, I know Chelsea fans have been on my ass ever since I called out Cole Palmer and I said Chelsea, like, dude, you guys have just been just a mess. But I will say, like I completely agree with Isaac. There's still a dangerous team. I'm gonna use my team as a piggy, for example, as an example here. But I mean, if we played them, I'd be terrified to go up against a striker like João Pedro. I don't even want to know what Enzo Fernandez is going to do to a midfield.
Well, what's Caicedo doing? I'm not even worried about Fernandez. I mean, Fernandez had a great game.
Yeah, and I forgot about Caicedo, so I don't even know what he'll do to a Tchouameni or to like a Kimmich in a matchup, or even sometimes against a Rice, for example, if he's not clumsy like that one matchup they had earlier, I believe November or December. But still, they're a dangerous team, and again, they're the World Cup champions for a reason because they did go in and won that damn title by almost manhandling that PSG team. I know, again, going back to PSG, they're not that great team, but again, still dominate that midfield to get those crucial goals, and you have that one guy who I've said, like, he's in a weird spot, but these are the games where, like, if you can perform in the knockout rounds, and he's notorious for doing this,
yeah,
he's gonna win you. He's gonna win you a series. He can win you a big matchup, like against a Bayern, against an Arsenal, against a Madrid, against a Barca. Even we saw that we know that Chelsea beat Barca, so it's like, who knows. But again, we have to wait and see whether Cole Palmer does it, and I think he's more than capable to do that.
Yeah, it's nice that you mentioned that, because like I think that's why we keep having these conversations with Palmer. I think like there's a lot of times with there's a lot of other players with just off the output and the lulls he's had that we could just, okay, fine, let's give up on him. Maybe there's one here wonder, but there's something like intrinsically about Cole Palmer that you feel like there's that big game moment, big game feel from him, from a player that, like, I don't think I'm ever going to discredit him, especially if he's got like decent output and he's on that Chelsea team. I'm never going to put it past him. Yeah, they're in a 1-1 game in the 80th minute. And Cole Palmer just has a moment of brilliance and then wins him a match, wins him a Champions League, and helps them move on. Like, it's just not going to surprise me.
Right. You know who he reminds me of right now? Like, literally just went into my head, and I forgot to mention it while I was rambling about him. He reminds me of Jimmy Butler. Like, that's literally the one thing that he reminds me of. Like, when we know during the regular season or during the Prem or throughout big stretches of the league or wherever they're doing, he just doesn't, like, he gets into these moments where, like, he's just poor. But then it's like, when it's time to perform in these big games, like, he just
don't forget who Cole Palmer is.
You can't hate that. Like, I can't hate on a player like that. That's my only critique as to how do I rank him, because the whole season, like, football and basketball is different, because the whole season matters consistently because it builds rhythm into the league phase, into like winning the league title, the domestic titles, and all that, and your form throughout the rest of the year. But when it comes to big games, you want a player like that because football needs that. You want a player to perform like that. But we'll see. I completely agree with you. I think those are one of the teams that you have to look out, especially with the new manager bounce as well. And like Kieran said, dude, you saw it with Tuchel. It could have happened again.
In fact, actually, their first Champions League against Bayern, they also appointed a new manager mid-season. Yes. I don't know what it is. They just find a way to do it.
Yeah.
If anybody is a betting man right now, it's not a bad call to be like, put money.
It's weird to say they're like a dark horse because they spend a lot of money, but it does feel like they're a dark horse because you don't associate them with like being the best team in their league, but they could beat the best in the world.
The problem is their consistency. That's the only thing with them. It's their consistency. But we know that they have the players to do it. It's just that the consistency and Enzo Fernandez to turn up in these games, the consistency of Cole Palmer to turn up in these games, a João Pedro to be consistent, their defense to be stable. Well, now that is the difference between those teams from back then. You had Terry, you had leaders, you had Cahill.
Cavallo was on those teams, I feel like.
Thiago Silva too.
Thiago Silva, you had Rudiger in his prime. Like, that was a good. This backline, besides Cucurella and Reece James, that center back pairing is like, you don't know.
Hey, I mean,
even the goalie isn't reliable either.
Oh, even the goalie too. Which reminds me of PSG's goalie, bro. That guy sucks. I just had to throw that in there, bro. Chevalier, he sucks. I saw a recent compilation.
But he's an 83 rated goal on FIFA, Jeff. He's got to be good.
No,
And we haven't had the penalty against Spurs. That's got to count, right? He saved the penalty against Spurs in August. You
saw the first 2 goals he can see. I look back to that game. I'm like, dude, no wonder Spurs actually got into that game, bro. Those goals that he can see. Goalkeepers matter so much, and it's funny because that actually is going to transition into my next segment and my final one in this second block that we're doing. But obviously, I'm here, the Madrid fan, as always, complaining. Please, I want to see the team sheet. Can you put like the whole team in there? Like, I actually want to see this, the whole roster. I need to see this, right? 4-2 loss against Benfica away at the Stadio de Luz, and you know what? Why did I go into this game so confident and so arrogantly, man?
Because Madrid fans are always confident.
It was a perfect environment. We're at the Stadio de Luz. We won La Decima. Arbeloa was there. Carvajal is gonna be there to give the storylines of to how he saw Ramos just leap from the air and score that beautiful header, and then how Marcelo scored those goals, the Cristiano penalty to break the goal scoring. It was just fitting. I was like, wow, we're gonna qualify after the misery that we did last year, the good vibes that we got from the last 2 to 3 games that we got through the booing and through the results, and the performances and the pressing that we've done and the running and the tracking back. I was like, man, we're gonna close out this Champions League knockout, like this group stage phase, and actually just go through. Right, we're gonna go through and finally get into that top 8 from this new bracket that we're doing, this new Champions League style format, whatever it is, right? And no, we just go out and just, excuse my French, shit the bed, because that's what we've been doing a lot these last 2 years. We just can't go into a big game with that. We just like the standards of our team going into a big matchup and going out to win has went from here back in 2024 to down here. Because I'm not confident in any big game anymore. We can be bad. We saw it with the other teams from the past. We can be bad in a lot of phases in the league. We can lose against an Elche here and there. But you know what? I am so confident in some of these players that they will actually turn up for a champion. And that was one of the biggest criticisms, that we actually only focused on the big games and not the small games. And now we can't even perform in the small games nor the big games. So all that voodoo, whatever we had, is gone. All that power, all that aura that we had is completely thrown out the window, because we haven't won. I don't remember the last time we won a massive game like this. Like, this felt massive. Like, this felt massive when you look back into the totality of what the other teams were going through, because it wasn't over. We still had a Barca that could potentially jump over us. We had Spurs in there that can jump over us, and heck, we were trying to get first or second place. But what do? We perform like bad, like always in these big games. We're in the high, and you know what this moment made me feel like again, because I was so confident, and we go stink the bed. It reminded me of the loss back in, I believe, October, November, when we lost to Liverpool like 2-0 after that El Clasico win, and I think it was the 4-0 win against, I believe, Villarreal. And then we went to Liverpool, and we stink the bed, even knowing when Liverpool were that bad. I mean, it's just ridiculous how much we just fallen off in terms of just performing in a big game. And man, this is frustrating. Like, I'm gonna look at the back line, right? Valverde, Raul Asensio, Dean Hoyce, and Alvaro Carrera. So if I would give a rating of all of them, 0. Horrible in the counter-attacking phase, in the transition phase. Individually, one-on-one, they were absolutely awful. Got cooked by every player. They couldn't complete a single pass when they got pressed. And that's just been the problem of our team for the last 5 years. We just can't escape the press. But and then the other player that I really want to call out, Tchouaméni, man. This is what I mean. I hate players that have this instinct of they get complacent, right? There's a lot of players on Madrid that are very complacent. But he's one of the few that represents that, and it makes me and it boils my blood. It makes me so sick to my stomach. Because you're at the biggest team in the world, and you're so complacent at the worst possible time that you can be complacent. I'm cool if you're complacent when we're up 5 goals, or like when we're 10 points up in the league. Man, I can understand. You're trying to relax. This is a big game, and you're doing that type of mistake where you're giving away a penalty because you got beat by a 36, 38-year-old Otamendi? Come on now. Really? Alvaro Carreras, was this a thank you letter to Benfica fans with that performance of giving away the ball? Come on now. Really? And then Masantona, I mean, I'm not going to go on him too much because he was one of the other players that was just bad. But he's an 18-year-old. What do I expect from an 18-year-old like that? But I just want more. But going back to the whole goalkeeper point, oh my God. Thibaut Courtois is the greatest goalkeeper around Madrid. I don't care what anybody says to me. I don't care what any old head wants to scream at me with Casillas. I know I've never seen Casillas in this prime, and that's fair. But from my time, from my generation, I'll tell my grandkids that this man had to save this sorry-ass defense for the last 5 freaking years, man. 5 years of this poor man having to have the worst defenses that I think I've seen consistent. And remember we've had these debates like, oh, well, remember we had that Courtois and Allison debate and we had that argument that like, oh, Courtois had Varane and Ramos and we went heated on that. And I was making that point that he had clean sheets through that. Well, I hope you now realize why I hated that argument about how, oh, because he had an elite defense, that's why he had clean sheets. Well, no, part of the reason that helped him out was because that's what helped him get clean sheets. Because these defenses are awful. These defenses suck. We have Militao out for the last 2 years. God bless him, man. I hope he freaking finds a new leg and just comes back as soon as possible. Because I cannot stand watching Raul Asensio getting red cards every minute. Or Dean Huijsen failing to beat his man through a header. There's this one play. Oh, my God. I wish Twitter would find it. There's this one play where this 6 foot, I think it was like a 5'11" player. Dean Huijsen's like 6'4", 6'5". Dean Huijsen literally tries to jump and he couldn't even leap, man. And he still lost the header of this guy. It's just insane to me. I don't even want to know. I don't even want to imagine what Kane would do to him. What even Gyökeres would do. Like Gyökeres would score past him. That's how bad I think Dean Huijsen is. So going back to my Courtois point, because I'm rambling, right? And I'm so just infuriated. Like you can just tell how infuriated I am because we let the goalkeeper score. Don't even get me started on that. We let a goalkeeper score passes. That's just embarrassing at the end of the day. And congrats to Benfica. I know they needed that goal too, and congrats to Mourinho as well. Like we'll get this props, but man, dude, Courtois, man, thank God for this man because he would have probably lost like 8 goals at that point in the first half. I don't know how many times he almost conceded 8 goals like throughout this whole year when we're playing so bad against Liverpool, against Barca, against Atletico, against Benfica now. Oh my God, the best goalkeeper, Real Madrid. I don't know how many times he has to carry this sorry load of defenses, man. I just can someone get him a defense, please? Can we give him a defense? Can we just get him a defense just so he can get something going and we can actually win? And he's a leader too, but what can he do? What else can he do, man? What else can he do? He's not Superman. Everyone's human. He's not a superhuman being that can just stop every shot that's coming his way. I mean, he's going to concede chances every time because our backline is just always awful. And we haven't given him a straight defense for like the last 3 freaking years. I feel sorry for the man. He should be winning freaking all the best goalkeeper award trophies, but he can't because he can't keep a clean sheet, but it's not his fault because he's conceding chances every freaking second. So what can he do? God bless Courtois' soul, man. If you decide to leave, I don't blame you, man. If the board says after this summer we're not getting any good center, if we don't bring in 3 center backs minimum, Courtois should just leave this team for his own sake, man, for his own career, because he deserves better than this. He deserves better than this. He deserves better than this. This is not.
Where does he go though? That's better than Madrid.
I was actually gonna say, bro, go to Bayern, but Bayern got the new goalkeeper. Hey, go to PSG.
I was gonna say.
If I'm him, I would go to PSG for
go back to Chelsea.
Or go back to Chelsea.
Yeah,
I would go back to Chelsea. I'm being serious. If he wants to focus on his career, I don't blame him if he says this summer I want to leave. We're not competing enough, and he goes out to Chelsea or to PSG. If I'm any of those 2 teams, I would throw in the money.
Maybe Inter. Go to Italy for a bit.
Go back.
No, I want him to win. I see him more winning in a Chelsea team or a PSG team than going to Inter. To be quite honest.
How about FC Cincinnati? Just a shout.
No, come on, man. I've rambled about how much he's had poor defenses and how his best years statistically with the clean sheets and stuff is because he had Ramos and Varane. And you're gonna bring me you're gonna punish him by bringing him to old ass Cincinnati? Come on, bro.
Okay, what, like Inter Miami? New York Red Bulls.
Maybe Inter Miami. If he wants to dominate MLS, but still, man, just get him a good Madrid. Just get him a good freaking defense. If you know that you're coming into a season with 3 injury-prone center backs, then get another 2 minimum, or just promote players from your academy. For please, this can't go on because this is the reason why we're not gonna be a solid defensive team because we don't have elite center back. So when we're playing a high defense, a high line, or when we're playing against these quick in transition teams, because we have bozos in there. We have bozos. All I gotta say, man. All I gotta say. I don't know what. It's insane to me. It's insane that we can't get him a good defense. And it's embarrassing now. We went from 3rd place to 9th. Good job, players. Good job. This is why I didn't get hyped after that 6-1 win against Monaco or that 2-0 win against Villarreal. I was like, good. Now do it again. 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 And do it again when it matters most. But you failed the first test, and now we got to go play another 2 pointless games now. And we might play. And you know what's funny? You know why we're the biggest losers now, too? Not only did we drop from third to 9, not only did we let a goalkeeper concede a score against us, but you know what's funny? We lost 2 players with the red card, and we might play that same team in the knockout stage because they fell to 24th. So we might play them with an even more depleted team because 2 of those idiots got red cards. Good job. Great job. Great job.
Yeah, I didn't watch. How were those red cards? Because that just seems like a very just at first glance from not watching the match seems very stupid, especially knowing that you could be dropping. Like you need a little bit more of a thought there to be like, hey, we might be playing 2 matches, as you said, maybe against this exact same team. Maybe it's not the best if they get sent off, but I don't know were they ones where they were just to like prevent a goal? Was it kind of obvious or I don't
Rodrigo got sent off for like dissent. What he said to an
Okay.
official. That one's pretty bad. Like you can't really defend
disgusting.
that. Yeah, Asensio was like a second yellow for like a slide tackle, which is a little bit more understanding.
Right.
Like, I don't know.
Well, Rodrigo the captain, or was that why? Who was captain in this match?
Well, the captain was Ricardo, even though he doesn't exist half of the time because he's just so soft. No offense.
Which is interesting though, because that's the rule. You're the only allowed to talk as the captain to the ref. Am I?
Correct.
Yeah.
Right,
so like,
correct.
how can you be a soft captain like that? And in a way, like I'm not saying it's his fault for Rodrigo getting the red card there. It's obviously Rodrigo's fault. You don't mouth off to the ref or whatever you say, but like, man, you got a captain there. You know what I mean? Like that's talk to Rodrigo, voice those frustrations because you're the only one that can. Like
because they're losers. Unfortunately, Hausen, they're fucking losers. Like that's all I can really say. Like I know some of them won Champions League, but that was 2 years ago now. That's about to be 2 years now. We were saying, oh, they won the. I don't care anymore. Like that's the point. I gave you the slack last year because you didn't have the manager, but all that's been happening this year, I have no excuses for you anymore.
Yeah, it seems like there's kind of been a lot like.
It's arrogance at the end of the day. It's arrogance from these players. Like you see how Rodrigo got that second. I mean, come on now. Why are you complaining now? Where's that energy when you come in?
Mm-hmm.
Where was that energy at the beginning of the year? Where was that? Asensio, same thing. Lost his head, lost his temper to get the first yellow, and then, I mean, again, structurally, I mean, it's not fully on the players. I think the manager got it wrong too. We'll criticize him as well, but I mean, why would you lose your composure to get a yellow card by complaining to another player? Why did you get lost in the conflict of emotion? And then the slide tackle, I mean, it's understandably so because I mean it's reckless, but it's like you have to stop the counterattack from conceding. So that's not his fault. But I blame him for the first yellow. Why would you start complaining? Everyone in that back line, I think, got a yellow card if I'm not mistaken, besides maybe Fede.
Mm-hmm.
Congrats. This is shameful. We have no leaders, and so I said this year is just a throwaway, and I don't know. Until some of these players mature, like Tchouaméni, like Camavinga, people who quote unquote won and have this now. I don't even want to hear about how young they are. Like, there's no more youth in this anymore. Remember, Kieran, I'm gonna bring this to you, right? Remember when Mourinho criticized Rashford at one point because they didn't know whether he would be a striker or a winger. Like they were trying to figure out what his best position was. And I think Mourinho said he's like a winger, but he's not a striker. And they were talking about like, oh, he's still young. He needs more experience. He's like, well, no, because yes, he's young, but he's played so many games now. It's like you have to kind of already learn. This is how I am with Tchouaméni, with Camavinga, with Vinny, with Rodrigo. Maybe with Jude is going to get to that point too, where I'm like, yeah, you're young, but you've played so many games now. Where it's like, how have you not learned from your mistakes? If you're Tchouaméni, how have you continued to let yourself sleep over? How do you continue to let yourself mentally sleep during certain defensive situations? Camavinga, how can you not switch a ball with your right foot? You're a midfielder. You've been here for 4 years and you can't even give a simple pass with your right foot? Like, and even if you can't use your right foot, can you at least use your left and like find ways to which you can deliver from certain angles where you can have to use your right? And then for Jude, it's like, can you not figure out ways in which you can just get inside the box? And then, like Vinny, can you not score a damn header? Like, what are these things? Like, this is not. When are you going to learn? Maybe it's next year. Maybe it's in 2 years. I don't know. But All I'm saying is no one's going to be patient for this anymore. That's all I'm going to say. And again, I expect another booing the next time they're at the Bernabeu because. And I said it like I was like, dude, you better turn up because I don't one mistake, one bad game, and I'm telling you, they're back to booing you. They're back to booing you. That was an embarrassment. And I'm telling you, another boo session's gonna come, especially if they start off bad. All I'm saying. I don't know. Just I don't know, Karen. What are your thoughts? I think
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about it. It's kind of like Madrid haven't bought in players like United or Spurs have, but like if you're Madrid and you keep failing to rebuild properly and you keep like panicking with these rebuilds, you almost get to the scenario of a team that's like half good, half not good. It's like you don't really know what you have. I think that's what Madrid have. They're like this like crisis of like they're holding on to their past of being a really good team in like the 2010s, 2000 early 2020s, but now they don't have Modric, they don't have Cruz, they don't have Casemiro. Yet they still kind of like I don't know. It's just weird with Madrid. I don't know what to say. Like, what kind of team are they? Other than just like a moments team who needs Mbappe to get 2 goals today, for instance. But it's just I think it needs a major rebuild. But I don't trust Madrid to rebuild personally because every time they try to rebuild, they
I'm in
panic and
agreement with
don't.
you. Yeah, and it's unfortunate because this is why I wanted a manager that would bring at least some set of structure to help these players develop not only intelligently and structurally, but in the sense that we have something to hold back onto just so that we don't have to rely on individual brilliance. Because we know that some of these players are not leaders yet. I look at this pitch and I don't see a leader. I really don't. I like Vinny is just not gonna be a leader, and I think he never will be, unfortunately, because his persona is just not of vocal leadership qualities and attitudes. It's just very much like by example, pretty much by being relentless on the field, by being unstoppable when he has to on that wing or on that side. Mbappe is just not.
Well, Mbappe's your star too. You don't want your star to be
Mbappe's
your
your
villain.
star,
You have to
but
be your leader.
no one's. Again, it's another player that sets by example, but not by the one that will grab you and just motivate you. Be like a Ramos, like a Cross. Even there's ways in which they communicate with you. Like you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do that. Leaders for the national teams. Chouameni is another example. It's like I'm waiting for him to blossom into that player, but he just hasn't showed it. Kamavinga, he's like still 18, 19 when he's about to be 24 now. And then Fede is just again another player that is a player by example, but never will be by vocal. The closest one is Asensio, but that guy's an academy player and he's not even that good. It's like, are you gonna listen to him? I guess it's Courtois, but Courtois is like on the bottom of the pitch. I want someone in the field, in the midfield, which is one of our weaker points. But we don't do that. But we don't.
Maybe
Don't have
Bellingham
that.
then? Could he not be a leader for you?
If he gets the captain's armband, maybe. But if that's one. But I think for this full roster, I think we need like 2 or 3 minimum.
I mean, I think Bellingham is a good point. I think he's also going to age into one. I think you're seeing Kane really being like the old stalwart of this England team. And I think once
Right.
his era and that kind of finishes up, the keys are passed to Bellingham for taking over that England squad. And so I think he's going to kind of grow his leadership from there. So I think it's one for Madrid. Maybe with him, you just have to wait. I think that's going to kind of come. I think that has to come more natural. That's the other issue with leadership and qualities like that. It's something you're kind of either born with or it's something that takes time to nurture. And sometimes it's just being there a while. Like, I have no doubt someone like Thomas Muller, just being there for so long at Bayern, was able to become a leader, especially by those final 10, 15 years. Because when you're there for that long, you build that up. You kind of almost build up that earned respect. And I think just from Jude being there for even 3-4 more years, that's going to come natural. And I also think it's got to be a wake-up call for themselves. I don't think you can just have a voice. I mean, what does that look like? Do you have someone from your board bringing them in or pointing it to them and saying, you have to be a leader, you have to lead this team? I don't think that's going to force it to come
No, that's not
naturally.
going to
I think the
happen.
players going
It's
to get
just
in their
gonna.
head.
It has to naturally happen. Like that's why I
Yeah.
said this year is just a waste because it's like I haven't seen any of these players just show out when they need to, and we've seen it beforehand during that Ronaldo, Modric, Ramos years. Like they weren't perfect until like the Decima happened. Pretty much from what my parents told me and from what other like older Madrid fans had told me as well. But I think we're in that period right now. But it's just that's why I said this year is just such a waste. But I want more, and which is why I wanted at least a technical manager to help us out because we have talented players. We've seen that they can do it, but it's just like you need a structure. Because if you're relying on individual brilliance, it's just not going to work at times when a team, especially in this day and age, is going to figure you out. And then when you rely on just brilliance or just a moment of magic, what's happened when the magic is, gone for?
Yeah,
Yeah,
again,
that's
It's
my
just
question too.
frustrating.
With like
No,
Madrid, like look at the way they treated Xabi Alonso. Like, no offense, but like, what manager would want to go to Madrid after they saw how Alonso was treated? That's my
I don't
question.
know.
Like,
And this,
I know the
I mean,
story with Madrid; they're the greatest team of all time. But like, you see how they treat managers. It's like, would you really want to go there if you're like a very good tactical manager?
yeah,
I'd argue.
especially you talked about like Xabi with like that full rebuild. It's funny you bring him up because I think he's the perfect example or the newest example of why Madrid isn't ready for that. I think you look at a team like Leverkusen in years past, where that was built off of how well that squad performed together. It's pretty clear with Xavi coming in what that did to that team and how he got them to play, and obviously the great success it led him to, on top of the great talent that they had. Yeah, this is a lot of you're looking at this, and I'll take it from Jeff's. Jeff's the expert here. If there's signs that Madrid needs to go into a rebuild and needs to go through a couple of years of that, I trust him that's the sort of the indication of where we need to take this Madrid team. Xavi's your guy. Xavi's in theory a manager you hire to also do that because one, you're
exactly.
expecting good results right away, which you could get with that, but also he's young. You kind of figure he's going to grow into the role. He's going to develop as a manager. So when you're going through those 2-3 year rebuild where maybe you do need to sign and develop 3 center backs over the course of 2-3 years, maybe you need to develop a midfield over the course of 2 to 3 years because that takes time. You don't just find a perfect midfield trio in a transfer window. That's just not realistically how that's going to happen, let alone who comes up in your academy and who leaves and all that. And you fire him. You get rid of him at the first sign of trouble, like Kieran said. Anytime you're right there, right about to jump off the diving board, it's like you put your shirt on and you climb right back down because you're too scared. I
Right.
don't
It's
really
also
get it. Jump into that deep end. Yeah, it's going to be scary. It's going to be uncertain. That's what comes with jumping to the deep end. That's what kind of comes with growing up, and it's kind of something I wish Madrid would just kind of do.
It's
And
funny
that's what
too
I
with Xabi Alonso because like we talk about the defense and how Madrid need like new defenders. He like actually bought 2 good young defenders like Housen and Carreras. It looked like he wanted to develop them, but now he's gone. So it's like
And Jeff has
he
said
was
that's
supposed to
predated
mentor
him.
them.
The issue is
Yeah,
predated
yeah.
Xabi Alonso. That's if Jeff's saying it's been the past 2-3 years. I trust him. It's been the past 2-3-4 years of that defense, and that Xabi was only here for a year.
Yeah, and that's why I'm so worried as to like, and I think I stated this in the last episode. It's just, and I think it's more proven now after this result, is because I don't like relying on individual brilliance because again, this is something that we wanted. This is the culture that we wanted to get away from because individual brilliance is going to get you so far in the Champions League, and that's beautiful. That's fine. We have the players that can do that. Where maybe we don't need tactics. It's like, okay, go out, do what you want to do. Like maybe that for a certain league match, but when you're in this new group stage now, where it's pretty much a league table now, where you have to be consistent for the next 5 to 6 games, and then you're in the league. Our idea of Xabi, and I'll end it off with this before we go on to our next and final segment.
I have one more thing too I want to mention as well.
Yeah, we brought him in for the senses that he was going to give us a new identity and a new culture. That's from what I learned in the sense of getting a manager that was so dominant in the league because we haven't won the league that year. We compared to the last 20 years, Barcelona has been killing us in terms of how many times they win the league. They kill us every time. Like if you look at the last 20 years since 2010, since Pep came in, league. We've only won probably like the league 4 times out of them winning the last 9 or 10. Even Atletico got like 2 over us. It's insane to me. That's so insane to me. How did you let that happen? So that's why they brought in Xabi Alonso for the sake of having a new set structure, so that when we're in the league, we have an identity, we have an idea of style, an idea of playing against these low blocks, against these mid blocks, against these high counter-attacking teams, and you have a manager that can bring that in. But now we don't, and what's even worse is who wants to come because your PR now is just even more damaged. So now who's gonna? And now the development process of all these players are just out the window now because whoever comes in now might not like a Dean Poisson, might not like an Alvaro Carreras, might not like a Truman, might not like a Camavinga, might want to keep a Ving, might want to leave out Mbappe, might want to keep it Mbappe, might want to leave out it. When it's like, well, you had a manager that could have figured that out sooner rather than later. Now he's gone. Now who wants to go to your team? Because now from what I'm seeing, what works is apparently is a yes man. So if that's the case, then I don't know. It's literally in the hands of the players, which I don't like. It could miserably fail for like the next 5 years, or it could work. But I have no clue. I have no clue. At least with Bayern, I know. Hey, they have a certain style. They have certain standards. I know they might be back in the next 4 to 5 years. Not sorry, United, not them, unfortunately. I know Barca have a certain style, a certain idea. I know they'll be back in certain ways and bringing in players from the academy. What do we have? Buying the best superstars? That hasn't worked now for like the last 5 years because we haven't won anything now potentially for 2 years straight. We're gonna go trophyless for 2 years. 2 years in a row, we're gonna go trophyless. Put my money on that right now. 2 years in a row without winning a damn trophy. Embarrassing. But final thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny to note that like buying superstars, you obviously have a couple you've bought, but like that's the issue. Like you're talking about those relying on moments of individual brilliance from those old Madrid teams. Yeah, that's because you have Ronaldo, who's arguably the greatest in the sport. Benzema is arguably a top 10 striker of this generation. Bale is a top 10, arguably a top 10 winger of this. Casemiro is a top, arguably one of the best CDMs, let alone best of the 21st century. Modric is one of the best of the 21st century. Cruz was one of the best of the 21st century. Ramos is one of the best center backs of the 21st century. Like Casillas, which we talked about, was one of the best goalkeepers of all time, let alone the 21st century. That's not what Madrid is right now. You have Mbappe. Mbappe very much is that. You have Courtois. Courtois is very much that. And I'd say you have Bellingham right now that are like undoubtedly that. I think you'd still throw in Vinny. That's 4. And still, what I love Vinny. Vinny's great. Vinny's not going to go down as one of the best wingers of all time, I don't think. Courtois might. Bellingham could. That's what 3-4 guys you can really rely on for moments of brilliance.
I'll put Vinny, but yeah, like compared to the sample size. But even then, so by the trajectory of the career, besides maybe Jude and Courtois, the other ones have no shot to what the standards of what a Ronaldo or even a Benzema did. Like, there's no shot. Maybe Bellingham because he's still so young because he's like 22 and he's won so much and he has that ability. But besides him, I don't look at any of the other players. I'm like, yeah, you have potential to be an all-time great. Maybe Chouameni if he freaking wakes up. But but I mean, I want more. Like it has to be because if it's just one that you think can be an all-time great and into a Madrid, then that's just not gonna cut it. Like I'm sorry, that's just not. That's not. And how dare they have the arrogance of that too? Because you weren't even comparable to like Modric or Kroos or Ronaldo. Like who do you think you are, bro? Like you're just not even to their standards yet. Yeah, you've won 1 or 2, but like, dude, these guys have won 5 to 6 with and without Madrid. So it's like, where are you at? You haven't done it yet. Maybe if you win a couple more, sure. Maybe if you're ranked like this, God tier level, sure. But you're not that guy. You're not those guys.
Who's to say that some guys can't? Like Boyson could turn out to be a phenomenal center back within even just a year or two. But that's a problem. It's a what if. You're playing the what if game. Madrid can't afford to right now to rely on the what if game, especially if you want any short term success. That's not going to work.
Right. Completely.
Plus, who's going to like mentor these guys? Like I remember Varane back in the day. He had like Pepe and Ramos to mentor him, right? But like if you look at Dean Howson, who does he really have? Like I know there's Rudiger and like Alaba and Militao, but like
they're leaving.
Those are 3 injury prone players who could leave. So like who mentors these young players? I don't really see that kind of player in this Madrid squad.
That's the other thing. There's no mentors. You're spot on there too. There's no mentors on this team that you can actually be like, "Ooh, this young player can come in," because he's like, that's a beautiful comparison. That's why Varane is an all-time great, bro, because he had Ramos and Pepe just to learn from in those last few years, and he had the talent too, and he was amazing as well. But he had at least Ramos and Pepe to go alongside with. He had a Navas, he had a Casillas as well. He had damn Jose Mourinho as his damn manager, coaching him too, and Zidane as an assistant. Who do we have? Pintus and Arbeloa? That should say enough as to where we at. We could have had Xabi Alonso at least mentoring these guys. At least. Maybe would have not won anything, but I would have said, at least he tried.
At least they're learning.
At least they're learning, because I guarantee you Xabi would have taught a little bit more to Chouameni, a little bit more to Camavinga. And then you'll figure out whether they did want to learn or not. And I'm starting to see that maybe some of them didn't want it.
Xabi's a very underrated midfielder himself all time. Like, that's a very talented midfielder. You're telling me Chouameni couldn't learn how to be a better box-to-box midfielder from having Xabi Alonso?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Or he couldn't even brought in new ideas in the modern game compared to the past. Mm-hmm. You couldn't do that. You couldn't at least wait that out. Either you bring back Zidane or something, or you better bring back Zidane, or you better get new leaders out in there. And I don't even know what leaders you want to get, because who are you going to get? Who are you going to get? Who do you want that can represent this team? Because all of our defenders are just done. They're not to our standards.
And you struck out on this match. Like, you had Upamecano, you had Konate, you had all those these Schlotterbeck, which has been roaming around, and I've kind of heard seemingly nothing. Upamecano has locked up a deal seemingly with us, so that kind of dream has been over. Do you really want Konate right now with how he's been playing for Liverpool? I haven't really heard anything. I think Schlotterbeck would be absolutely amazing for that defense. I think if you're Madrid, you need to sign him.
But that's just one. But that's just one.
But I will say, he's one where like you throw him in with a Hoyson. I forgot I don't know if they played the same side. Like that is fixing your defense in the short term. Those are two guys that if you put in, I think you're starting. You just need for a match. Like Jeff, you would get Schlotterbeck. I think you'd fall in love with him with how good he is defensively.
Oh no,
like,
definitely.
I think there's a little bit of that, but where is it?
I don't know. But I will say I agree with you. But I think we need 2 or 3 more because we're letting go of 2 and we need 3 more. Just because of our injury crisis, just because of the inconsistency on some of them, their quality on some of them, but we just need more. That's all I can.
I got another question for you, Jeff. Bayern has a certain box-to-box midfielder we're trying to get rid of. We may be selling him to your rivals. Would you like to take a shot, throw like 20 mil at us for him?
This is where I go into this next segment, which is obviously, please like, follow, share, and subscribe our YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok channels. Please help us out. Help us gain up to more followers. We're trying to get to 50 by the end of this month for both our Instagram and TikTok. So hopefully we can get it in the last 2 or 3 days. Seems like a miracle, but hey, I see Madrid come back. Into crazy games which look like impossible scenarios and stuff. So who knows? Maybe might get it. But as I dodged that question from Isaac Hausen because I was not going to deal with that. I do not want to hear any mid players like Goretzka ever again in my team.
You don't say that. Now, do you have to play Atletico this year still?
I don't want to see him. Or I don't want to.
He's dropping you just said that he's dropping a 10 out of 10 performance against you guys. I just hope you know that.
From outside the box against
seriously.
You.
If he does, I'm going to. Let's make a bet right now. Let's make a bet. If Goretzka gets a goal or an assist against us, what do you want me to do? Do anything. Ooh. Not too crazy. If Goretzka scores,
can we get a faux hawk, Jeff?
A what?
A faux hawk, Jeff, where you just you just go one line down over the top of your head.
That's too much.
I think that was a bit much. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're asking for a Goretzka goal here against
I'll
Real
do this.
Madrid.
I'll buy a Goretzka Bayern jersey. How about that?
Okay, there we go.
That's fair. That's fair.
I'll buy it. I won't be, and I'll be cheap too, but I'll still have to put $20, $30. And I'll wear it from one of the episodes too. I'll make it even worse. It'll be an Atletico jersey. How about that?
Oh, there you go. Jeff buying
if Goretzka gets a goal or assist against us in the next derby that we play at the Bernabeu, mind you, set the two goal or assist, I'll wear the jersey.
That's gonna be a phenomenal kit to have though in like 20 years. Like you're gonna go to like your great grandkids whatever party, and you're gonna whip out the Goretzka Atletico jersey. They're like, Grandpa Jeff, that was in the league.
I'll give it to an uncle of mine who's a big Atleti fan. But Isaac, if you don't mind, please presenting the full table as well, please, as we close off this episode. Just the full league table. Or can you put the UEFA fixtures? Or Kieran, I think you had it, right?
Yeah, I do have the bracket up. I can share my screen if you want.
Yeah, just mind sharing that screen real quick for
what
the potential brackets might look and come out to. Because I know just so we can give the full recap. We can give the full recap. So these are going to be some Barca, Chelsea on that one side. We got Liverpool and Tottenham as a potential side as well. I'm just curious to know who will be on your side, Isaac? For Bayern?
I don't know off the top of my head. We will get some. That looks like.
So Chelsea, you would potentially play the winner of Dortmund or Olympiacos, Leverkusen or Atalanta, and then I know there's another side. So if you can scroll down just a little bit more. I think there's So then you can also potentially play. And you could also potentially play the winner of Madrid, Benfica, Inter. So there's a lot of teams that you can probably. There's a chance that we can probably play each other, Isaac, in like the.
I mean, just off of how you're describing it, I would like that.
In the quarterfinals, so that's going to be dangerous. I mean, that would be like the third time in the last 2 years. No, this would be the second time from us knowing each other pretty much because we played. Yeah. We played back in 2024, which was a fun watch. That was a fun watch.
Fun watch for one of us.
No, but the one at Bayern.
I don't think Isaac enjoyed it too much.
Yes, the one at Bayern. Yes, yeah.
The one at Bayern, obviously, because it was like a 2-2 crazy. It was an insane matchup between. It was like Vinny scored 2, and then Musiala had a man of the match before he was killing Lucas Vazquez, and then oh my God, Leroy Sané scored that one bang. That was a crazy matchup. But
yeah, I remember Davies against you too. I think at the Bernabeu, that was so nice. I thought we were I think once he scored that, I was like, we're going through. Like this is his moment for it.
I mean, it looks like for you would either play Man City, Madrid, like there's a potential you might face an Inter as well. Potential rematch,
Yeah.
maybe up in there. I know
Although I'm always rooting
there's
against
one that knocked you out last year, right?
Believe so, yeah. And then I think we're playing our like nightmare keeper Jan Sommer again because if anyone knows how much he used to kill us at Mönchengladbach, that's why I
Oh
loved it so
my God.
much when we signed him, just because it's like obviously he can never play against us again. Love this time at Bayern, but yeah, I really hope he doesn't come to burn us again because that man just turns up 10 out of 10 performances every time we play us. Like it's if that's how our matchup is, just so you guys know, like I think we already lost. Like that's just that simple.
Right. So there's a potential that you, Isaac, your team might either play the winner of. They might either play Dortmund, Atalanta, Leverkusen, Olympiacos, if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm.
Is there any team that you like? I think you can't play Dortmund just yet until you either play the knockout round. It's so complicated. I mean, we're still making up predictions, but who do you think you guys will face?
Man, I don't really know. I jokingly, if we could have played Dortmund, I would have jokingly think they would have thrown us that just because that would have been a fun little matchup. I don't know. I could see us be. I feel like Italian team. I don't know why. Like we like to get those in early rounds. Like we played. Man, I'm even thinking farther back. I think we like Inter obviously last year. Um, there's another team I'm forgetting right now. It's like
I
the
think it was
lighter
Lazio 2 years ago,
Lazio.
right?
Yes, yeah,
It was
Lazio 2 years ago.
Lazio, yeah.
I would feel like an Italian team. They usually like those matchups quite early on. I don't think we get like a pass. Like I don't. I shouldn't say pass. That's very rude and that's disrespectful to a lot of those teams. I mean like an Olympiacos or like a Bodo Glint. I don't think that's like something that we would get. But I don't know. I usually think Italian team.
Right. If Dortmund do go through in the knockout stage, because they could, if I'm not mistaken, do they potentially play Leverkusen, Atalanta? Like they potentially play one. If Dortmund do get
Yeah.
through, I have a prediction. I think they play Arsenal. I think they play Arsenal. If there's a way and there's a perfect world where Dortmund go through, they go through the round of 16, whoever they play, either Olympiacos, Leverkusen, Atalanta, whoever they have to face, and they have to go to the next round. I think they go up against Arsenal. I think they would want to see that. I think the world would want to see that. I think that would be an interesting and tough matchup for Arsenal. I don't know about you, Karen, but I don't remember that one. No, they played. No, that was the wrong team. For some reason, I remember that one time Arsenal played back in, I believe, 2013, 2014. I think it was against Monaco. It's like giving me that vibes where like Arsenal should be the favorites, but like that team can knock them out. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I think that Monaco team
I don't
is
know.
that too early back in the day.
I feel like I think Arsenal could handle Dortmund pretty easily, if I'm honest. Like the way Champions League football is played in terms of you have to win a bunch of knockoff games or one-off games. I think that suits Arsenal more with the way they play. And like, no offense, I don't watch that much of Dortmund games, but their team just doesn't look as good as it used to be. I don't know.
Right.
I just feel like Arsenal have a way better team than Dortmund's. Maybe I'm being disrespectful, but I feel like Arsenal could handle Dortmund pretty easily.
Yeah, I'm hoping we can get Ryan on this. Ryan Adeo, by the way, fellow Bonaventure friend of mine back home. Shout out to Ryan Adele if he's watching this episode. Shout out to you, man. But I think your Dortmund team has the shot. I'm not saying they're fully the favorites, but it's like that sneaky little dark horse that can actually like knock out a big team, you know. And I think with the way Arsenal has been playing these last few months, I don't know, it's pretty dangerous. City or Sporting, I mean, there's a potential even if we get through, if we go against Benfica or I mean, I think we're gonna get Benfica. That's my prediction. I think we are gonna get Benfica by the time Friday hits. We're gonna get Benfica. Inter will get the other team that beat. I forgot the team that beat Atletico today, and that went through that crazy stretch. But they might play them, and then we might. I wouldn't be surprised if UEFA just puts Man City again. I wouldn't be surprised, and then we probably in the same bracket with Bayern as well. Like it's probably that's gonna happen. So that's my prediction. I think if we're gonna get matched up with someone, I think we're gonna get Benfica. They're gonna rig it. I just know it for a fact because that would be an entertainment game. I mean, you just saw it today. The goalkeeper scored. Why would they not rig it? I wouldn't be surprised if they just rigged it just for the sake of having that game. Would not be shocked. Liverpool, Tottenham. I know they might have to play the winner of Galatasaray, Club Brugge, Juventus, Atletico Madrid. Man, do I really want to see a Tottenham versus Atletico Madrid match potentially? That would be very interesting. That's my hope. If I was to give something, I really want to see that. Will I predict it? Probably not, but I really want to see that. Please just don't give me a Atletico Liverpool game. I'm so tired of that matchup. Just don't do it. I'm bored of it. I don't want to see it. We already seen it. I want to see Tottenham Atletico Madrid. I want to see the Spurs go up against that that back line of a freaking Atletico Madrid team, and then I want to see Atletico go to the to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium and see if they can handle the pressure down there in England. But I don't know. We'll see.
I think Juve Tottenham would be very funny there, or like even a Galatasaray would be a great shot. That's another great environment. Turkey, that's just a great,
You're
great
right.
place to play soccer.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a tough matchup for Tottenham, and I think Juve Tottenham is just fun because sorry Colby, but a little bit of like two banter clubs going at it. Like those are always fun games. Like that's just going to be a nice matchup.
Plus, I think Cole Mwani is on loan, or he used to play for Juve. So imagine like he scores for Tottenham against Juve. That would be pretty cool as well.
Oh
sorry, Clippers, we're the only one that we left you out there, but
Yeah.
Sorry, Clippers. We don't. No offense to you guys, but we don't care. Chelsea and Barca in that same bracket, which could potentially play a Newcastle, PSG, Monaco, and I believe what's that 22nd?
Karabag.
Yeah. I think isn't David Luiz on that team? Or am I?
No, he's on Paphos. He's on Paphos. Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of good potential matchups here. Barca, PSG in the round of 16.
I'd like a Chelsea PSG again to rematch the Club World Cup final.
I was going to say that too. Chelsea PSG team.
Barca PSG, I hate both those teams, so I would like that. I'm guaranteeing one of them doesn't move on.
And that one I probably favor Barca. Give me a hot take. If Barca do match up with PSG, I think they beat PSG. That's my hot take. If I was to give a hot take right now, I think if Barca were to go up against PSG right now, it's that goalkeeper, man. I don't trust that goalkeeper. I don't trust Chevalier. I don't trust him. I've seen the tapes. He's like Robert Sanchez, but for the French league. I don't trust that guy. I don't trust him. That I still can't get over the fact that they let Donnarumma go like that. Especially the man. Why would you let him go like that? Donnarumma was one of like the most vital pieces of that team. And I imagine they wanted to go back to back because who doesn't want to go back to back in the Champions League? But that's a goalkeeper that you just don't easily get rid of. Like, I'm sorry. Like, the way they let go of Donnarumma, and now you're just seeing what he's doing for Man City. I know they've been bad, but he's been probably one of their only bright spots, if I'm not mistaken. But he's just a shot. He's a goalkeeper built for the Champions League. And you let go of one of your most important pieces, just go like that. I know Dembele was your Ballon d'Or winner. I know Desiree Doué is amazing. I know Vitinha and Neves are probably the best midfield duo in the world out there with Pedri and De Jong. I know Kvaratskhelia is an awesome player as well. But I'm sorry, and your defense is amazing with William Patrick just establishing himself alongside Nuno Mendes and Hakim as well as the main guys. But I'm sorry, when it comes to these knockouts, and we saw it last year, Donnarumma is just the most important piece, and they got that out the way. So if they do have to go up against a Chelsea or a Barca, I think the same thing's going to happen. It's a loss. That's going to be it for their title defense. It's my prediction. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see whether they match up. But if they do match up, I'm telling you, Barca PSG, I'm going Barca. I don't know. It's my hot take. Or PSG Bayern, I go with Bayern. 10 out of 10.
I don't like those games. Those always scare me. PSG's like they got that ability when they play us. Like I don't know. They've had our numbers in the past.
At least they just got to rip one and he puts it in. Chevalier, doo-doo. Trust.
I'll let you take shots at him.
I have a even hot take. If we play them, somehow, some way, unless it's not the final or they have full momentum, if we somehow play them, I favor us against them. I'm being serious.
Really?
Different time around. Wow. That goalkeeper that they have, I'm telling you. But we lose to Bayern, we lose to a Barca, and we lose to a Chelsea. That's how I look at it. But I think this PSG team is not it, man. I really don't think. I don't think they're that. That goalkeeper, I'm telling you, it's that goalkeeper is gonna mark my words. Once he messes up in mark my words, that goalkeeper is gonna mess it up for them. I'm telling you. I promise you this. He's gonna mess it up. The Donnarumma loss is massive. He's gonna blow it for them. Trust.
Okay, Kieran, I'm throwing $10 on PSG to win a Champions League. You want to join? No, I'm joking.
We said the same thing about PSG last year, though, that they didn't look good in the group stage, and then they just destroyed everybody.
No. It's not that they don't look good. That's sure they're not playing great. I said it's that goalkeeper. Goalkeepers matter in the Champions League. I've noticed that. Goalkeepers matter so much in the Champions League. We saw it today with one goalkeeper scoring against my other goalkeeper. They matter so much. But I'm telling you, there's something about that goalkeeper. I just don't. He might be in the future, might become great. Chevalier might become great in the next few years. But that Donnarumma loss is going to hit them real hard soon. I'm telling you right now. It's going to hit them. It's just because of that goalkeeper. I'm telling you. Guaranteed. Put my money on it. PSG will not win it this year. Safe bet. But I don't know. Is there any other matchups that you guys are potentially hyped of? If not, we can probably just.
I'm always a waiter for the draw. I gotta wait till I need to know. You know what I mean? I need that for certain. I want to start game planning. I want to start seeing. Yeah.
I want to see how Bodo Glimt do though. I like to see Bodo Glimt go on a good run, like we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could potentially face.
Sporting or City is gonna be tough, but I mean, hey, they went and got a result against City, so who's to say they can't do that again?
Yeah, I agree. Who's to say they can't? Who's to say they can't beat Madrid?
It seems like a lot of people can beat Madrid
right
now.
FC Sheriff beat Madrid a couple of years ago, so I think Bodo Glimt could too, right?
Yeah.
I guarantee you know what's gonna happen. We play them and then we get knocked out by them because we're so confident. We're like, oh yeah, it's just no team, and then we can see like the first 2 games, like, oh shit, we gotta win.
I can't wait until you guys play like Arsenal and the entire world realizes they have to root for Madrid just because you guys are playing Arsenal.
No, I doubt it, man. I think everyone will be rooting for Arsenal. I think everyone wants to see this Madrid.
I think most of the Prem is rooting for you guys in that game.
Actually, you're right. Most of the Prem.
I think
all of the Liga. I think all of the Liga. I think even some Bayern fans want to see Arsenal.
I think they'd rather see you. Yeah, I guess there's a little bit like history-wise with you guys with us, but man, I don't know.
History.
I think it's more like the Arsenal fans invite that hatred more than like a Madrid fan even necessarily. I think more yours can kind of come natural. Madrid fans aren't amazing online, but I think it just comes with being so like vastly successful. You're always going to have those haters. Like Arsenal, like no team's fan base brings upon that hatred. I think more than them with the irrational takes, the conversations they put their players in. Like it's just I don't know. It's like not great vibes there. That I think that I don't know.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Hey, who knows, man? We'll just have to wait and see whether or not. Who's going to be with us and stuff, but I don't know. Who's more hated, Arsenal, Madrid? It's tough. I think maybe right now Arsenal just because of their fan base, but I think historically, I think it would always be Madrid because we are the most successful team and we have the freaking most arrogant.
I mean, I'll take it to baseball. Like the Dodgers. Dodgers are the most hated right now. That's by far. But I'm still going to say the Yankees are like overall still the more hated team in baseball. I think they're always going to have more of that reputation.
The Patriots and like right now the Chiefs, but historically it's been the Patriots and the Cowboys.
Right, and you're looking at that right now with the Patriots. You saw how like everyone's just like oh they're back to being the villains again. Like everyone's saying they're going to get smacked up. Like it's there's no like we hope Drake gets it through. Like no, like we do not want to see the Patriots win again. Like which is fair. I understand completely because. Been dominating the NFL like for the last 5 years until Brady and Belichick just fell off the cliff. But
those Cam Newton year. That was an interesting one. But
I know
remember how was Mac Jones years as well? Remember we thought Mac Jones was going to be something.
Didn't Jacoby Brissett come back there at one time as well?
Jacoby Brissett did come back. What else happened? Oh my God, Drake May's first year. That was bad too.
Wasn't Jared Stidham on the Patriots at one point too?
Jared Stidham was on the Patriots, but I think that was when Brady was on there. That's
Brady was still there. Okay.
I think when Brady
there's some weird Patriots were weird for a couple of years.
I don't know. Will we see other teams will we see Madrid go through that period? I don't know. Is this our period? Where we're just...
No, because you guys won't commit to a rebuild. Like at least the Patriots committed to a rebuild. Like that they realized like, okay, we gotta blow it up. Now they did sadly have to convince themselves that Mac Jones was their franchise quarterback at one point. That's okay. They're doing better now. They're in a Super Bowl. I don't think they care about where Mac Jones is right now. I think he's in where is he? I don't even know, like Jacksonville or something. I don't know. But yeah, they will commit. Like at least but again, you don't have like there's no number 1 overall pick in soccer. You know what I mean? If Madrid knew that they could suck and then they were guaranteed like the best next youth prospect, maybe they would have done it. But like what do you guys I don't know, who you take it first overall in this like fake La Liga draft? You know what I mean?
No, completely agree. Yeah. Yeah, man. Well, I think that's all. I think that's all I got for Champions League. I know it's been chaotic, hectic. We're going to circle back to that. The theme of just a chaotic Champions League group stage. Final match day. Kieran, I wish United were in there. You probably would have joined in the fun as well.
Hey, all I'm going to say is United didn't lose a single Champions League game this year. We didn't lose in the Champions League this year. It's true.
As a Bayern
0 losses.
Hey,
exactly.
Hey, man. Congrats to you, man. Hey, you know what? You focus on the league.
I think we have a good shot of getting in. I think we could be there next year.
Howard, I like to see United in there, man. I need to see United back in the Champions League. I want to see Madrid and United match. That's the one thing that we need. We need
that would be good.
Like a meaningful one, not these preseason games that you're going to see in like Columbus, Ohio. No. I want like full on. Like when was the last time we played against each other in a meaningful game? It was like back
2017 Super Cup. Yeah, like a Super Cup. Yeah,
and that's still only the Super Cup.
right?
Yeah, that's true. I think hasn't been since like Ronaldo scored against us in 2012. I think 2012,
Yeah,
2013.
2012. Yeah,
And that's kind of
back there.
crazy. I know you guys haven't been in Europe, but like we're talking about UEFA rigging a lot of these draws. How has there not been like a Madrid United in like the past 10 years? That seems kind of weird. I don't
I have
know.
no idea. Yeah,
It
that
is
is
kind of
real
weird.
weird.
The only one memorable time was back in 2013, and then that one where like I think we played the Galacticos. That was the one time. That was like the
Oh,
one
and you
few
had
times I
R9,
remember
right? You had
where we had our
Ronaldo, I
9.
think.
When
Yeah.
was
Even
the
then,
last
we
time you
still
played
lost
us?
to you guys.
We played you guys in 2013, 2014
Yeah.
when we had David Moyes. Remember, like Patrice Evra scored that really good goal against you guys, and we
Yeah.
thought
Was
we were
that
going
when
to win.
Robin had his against you too as well? Or was that
Yeah,
earlier?
I think it was. I think so.
Yeah. That's another one. Like I miss those. I like those Madrid, not Madrid Bayern, but yeah, obviously, but like the United Bayern. I don't know. We feel like we've been missing this.
Maybe
Yeah,
next year.
Hopefully.
maybe next year. I'm hoping next year's it gets better. I mean, with the way the new group stage format is, and with like the more teams that they've added on, I think there's potential to with more of those games to happen. I think it
Yeah.
should be in theory. We just need those
Hopefully
bigger
the
teams
Eagles
to
will be
actually
also
like
really
start
good.
waking up and then getting better,
Mhm.
like being United, like Madrid. I don't know who else has missed out in the Champions League, but we need some of those teams just to start waking up and just doing what they have to do. But I don't know, we have to wait and see pretty much.
Yeah.
But I think that'll be all. Thank you, boys, again.
Thank you.
I know. Thank you, Karen, for listening to us. Well, for my ramble about this poor Madrid team, and then obviously for Isaac ramble about how good his Bayern team is. Isaac, as a Madrid fan, congratulations. I hope if
Thank
you
you.
do match up against Arsenal, I hope you kick their ass. And if we do meet up, we're gonna probably do a watch along with that. We're gonna do it again.
Mhm.
We're gonna do a watch. I will go live with that. If we somehow go to the same group, like the same bracket, which I think we will. I think they'll do that, but I think we'll be with City as well. We'll be there.
I'm just trying to see. I want to get one more shout out here before we end this episode. I got to shout out my Buffalo Sabres. 19-3-1.
Yes.
Best 23
Congrats.
game stretch in franchise history. They are on set to break the playoff drought. So it's been a while. The teams that I've had to watch go through a rebuild. We talk a lot about rebuilds on this episode. My team is hopefully showing signs of finally getting out of that year-long rebuild. I think I was 7 the last time they were in the postseason. I am now getting my master's degree in college. So if that does not show you how long I've had to wait, it's
This
been
feels
quite
like
a
the
while.
clip in like an Interstellar when Coop's like watching his kids' tapes. I feel like I'm watching that right now.
Don't
Like,
let
hey,
me
Dad,
leave, Mert. I'm
Sabres
just
just
like
made the
screaming
playoffs.
from that. Yeah. So I
Oh
want to
my
get one
God.
quick shout out to another team making me
Shout out
pretty
to the
happy right
Sabres.
now.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know who else I can shout out because all my teams are just buns. Lakers, Madrid, Yankees haven't started yet, so I'm just waiting for them to start doing some stuff.
Yeah, pitchers and catchers soon.
I don't consider myself like a diehard Pats fan like that. You know, I'm more of a diehard Madrid. I like the Pats one, but it's more so because of my dad. Pretty much. But I became a diehard Madrid fan and Lakers fan because I've watched that team since I was young. I know through my dad as well, but like I actually like follow that team consistently through the sport that I love because I love basketball and soccer that much. But I think maybe I'll become a diehard like the next 4 to 5 years if I go through that transition where like I watch a Drake maybe become the player that he is, and like I'm like, oh yeah, then you know, and I know the sport more. I think for me to become a real diehard fan, like full on diehard, like yeah, I'm a diehard Pats fan. I would need like more years of experience of this knowing the sport because I feel like I don't know the sport that much, so we can't give it that much. I just don't like them. I'm rooting for them, but I'm more excited about Bad Bunny performing more than them playing. Maybe it's because
Nice.
Seahawks might bust their ass, but it's more because I love Bad Bunny more than and the representation they might do for that year. Then
Rumor has it Drake is coming out. Is that true?
nah, I don't think Drake will come.
Okay.
I can't wait to do our Super Bowl little thing. That'll be one of our
Yeah.
final segments, I think, for the either next weekend or this weekend. They'll come up. I'll make a decision on that. Actually, probably next weekend because I don't know since there's not that many games on Wednesday, but we'll see. But thank you, boys, again. I appreciate always I love having these side talks and stuff like that. But I appreciate you. You've been listening to the Out and On podcast. As always, I'm your host, Jeff Cano, accompanied by the Big Three. As always, I'm happy to have you boys on again. As always, love the Big Three. We're keeping it alive, keeping it strong. Yeah, thank you so much, and have a good rest of your evening.